Hello, I'm Dr Marina McLean, and I'm reading to you Zephaniah chapter 1. The word of the Lord which came unto Zephaniah, the son of Cushi, the son of Gediel, the son of Amara, the son of Hiskiah, in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah. And I will utterly consume all things from off the land, saith the Lord. I will consume man and beast. I will consume the fowls of the heaven and the fishes of the sea, and the stumbling blocks with the wicked. And I will cut off man from off the land, saith the Lord. And I will also stretch out my hand upon Judah, and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And I will cut off the remnant of Baal from this place, and the name of the Chemarims with the priests, and them that worship the host of heaven upon the housetops, and them that worship and that swear by the Lord, and that swear by Malcolm, and them that are turned back from the Lord, and those that have not sought the Lord, nor inquired of him. Hold thy peace at the presence of the Lord God, for the day of the Lord is at hand. For the Lord hath prepared a sacrifice, he hath bid his guests. And it shall come to pass in that day of the Lord's sacrifice, that I will punish the princes and the king's children, and all such as are clothed with strange apparel. And in that day also I will punish all those that leap on the threshold, which fill their masters' houses with violence and deceit. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be no noise of a cry from the fish gate, and an howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Howl, ye inhabitants of Mekish, for all the merchant people are cut down. All they that bear silver are cut off. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles, and punish the men that are settled on their lees, that they say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. Therefore their goods shall become a booty, and their house a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. Chapter 2. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day passes as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness, It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. For Gaza shall be shaken, and Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of Cherethites. The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan, the land of the Philistines. I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no more inhabitant. And the sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds and folds for flocks. And the coast shall be the remnant of the house of Judah. They shall feed thereupon. In the houses of Ashkelon they shall lie down in the evening, for the Lord their God shall visit them and turn away their captivity. I have heard the reproach of Moab, and the revilings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people, and magnified themselves against their border. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah. Even the breeding of nettles, the salt pits, a perpetual desolation. The residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. The Lord will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, and everyone from his place, even all the isles of the heathen. Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. And he will stretch out his hands against the north and destroy Assyria, and will make Nibia a desolation and dry like a wilderness. And flocks shall lie down in the midst of her, all the beasts of the nations. Both the cormorant and the bittern shall lodge in the upper lintels of it. Their voice shall sing in the windows. Desolation shall be in their thresholds, for he shall uncover the cedar work. This is the rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly, and said in their heart, I am, and there is none beside me. How is she become a desolation, a place for beasts to lie in? Every one that passeth by her shall hiss and wag his hand. Chapter 3. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She obeyed not the voice, she received not correction, she trusted not in the Lord, she drew not near to her God. Her princes within her are roaring lions, her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not the bones till the marrow. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. I have cut off the nations, their towers are desolate. I made their streets waste, that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is none inhabitant. I said, surely thou wilt fear me, thou wilt receive instructions. So their dwelling should not be cut off, whosoever I punish them, howsoever I punish them. But they rose early and corrupted all things doings. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to pray. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, and they may all call upon the name of the Lord, to serve him with one consent. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughters of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. In that day thou be not ashamed for all thy doings, wherein thou hast transgressed against me. For then I will take away out of the midst of them that rejoice in their pride. And thou shalt no more be haughty because of my holy mountain. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. The remnant of Israel shall do no iniquity, nor speak no lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Sing, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. The Lord hath taken away thy judgments. He hath cast out thine enemy. The King of Israel, even the Lord, is in the midst of thee. Thou shalt not see evil any more. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, Fear not, and to Zion, Let not thy hand be slack. The Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. He shall save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee. I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, and I will give them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. And at that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. For I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord. Have a blessed day.
Hello, my friend, and welcome to Fear into Faith Global Bible Revival, where we're on a mission to get 1 million people to read the Word of God cover to cover in a year. My name is Summer Day, and with me in the studio is Dr. Marina McLean.
Oh, I love the way you said that.
Well, I'm just trying to keep up with you and your beautiful, fabulous accent.
Thank you.
That.
I will get you sitting up and talking properly and enunciating in any minute now.
Okay, I shall work on that. Fabulous, darling. Well, let's start with, where are you from? Where's this beautiful accent from?
I was born and raised in London.
Okay.
And my parents are Caribbean, and both my husband and I and 3 children, and then I have 3 young adults, were born and raised in London. They've all lost their accents. I refuse to lose mine.
Please refuse.
But I've been here in Texas over 25 years.
Okay, so you live in Texas now?
I live in Texas, and wherever I travel here in the United States, and I say I'm from Dallas, they say, nah, nobody in Dallas sounds like that. Well, there are quite a few of us here now. But I just love the mixture of culture that is in me, because I get to bring people into my culture, and then I love adopting culture. And so growing up in a Christian home, always having missionaries always stayed at our house when we had conventions. So the world was birthed in me from a young age.
Nice.
So, but moving to the States was a challenge. I came kicking and screaming those 10-hour flight. My son and I, everybody else was excited to come, because when you've got a core, and we had a church, we had a Bible school. I had a friend that would move into my house, take care of my kids when I traveled.
Yep.
And so I had my community, right?
Yeah.
And then to give up your community and not know anyone where I was coming to in Dallas was just like, oh, Lord.
Oh, yes.
And so it was a process, but when people ask me now...
I understand this process well.
Yes.
When the Lord told me to sell everything and move in an RV, and we did it for 3 years. For 3 years, we had no community. We never knew sometimes where it would be the next week.
So for me, coming here, my friends were just like, what is God doing with you? I said, I don't know. But the beautiful thing is, I prayed that my church would release us. Because they'd grown with us. We started from just my husband and I and our children and 8 people. And we started a church that evolved into a Bible school, right? He traveled the world while I had children. And so when I had children, I was able to travel. But when we got ready to leave, strangers, because of our community, London, you knew your neighbors.
Yeah.
Your neighbors' kids were always in your house eating your food.
That sounds awesome.
Right? So that was a time back then where your children were safe in somebody else's home, right? And so when we got ready to leave, I don't know why I'm telling you this, maybe it's because you told me that you packed up everything. But when we got ready to leave, strangers would knock on my door and say, hey, we hear you're leaving and you can't take your electrical stuff. So they would come. My washing machine went to somebody. We went out one day and came back, and my husband sold the cooker, and it didn't come with the house. This is what happens. And so it was just a heartwarming and grieving at the same time.
Yeah.
Because we're really leaving. And at the same time, we saw our things, our possessions going to somebody else, stranger, to bless them.
Wow.
So it was a mixture. But when God says go, faith, we preach faith.
Yeah.
We believe in faith, but when you have to live by it, it's a whole nother level.
That's why it's called fear into faith.
Yes, I understand.
The fear starts first.
Yeah, and for those that watch you from the outside, they don't know if that fear is courage or foolishness. Right? Yeah, they don't. For you, it's fear. To them, some see you as courageous, some see you, oh yeah, you're a fool right now. But I trust God, and you understand this, and I hope your audience will understand this. When you trust God, there's no plan B.
Yeah, so good.
When you trust Him, there's no plan B. You have to trust Him wholeheartedly. Yeah, you have your days where I believe God today, and tomorrow is just like, oh no, Lord, you're gonna have to show up. But I can truly say we've been in this journey for over 40 years, and we married 40 years. Coming this September.
40 years?
40 years.
Wow. And then you said kids. How many kids do you have?
So 3, 2 girls and a son. My son's in the middle. But if I say their ages, they will just stone me. Yeah, so, but they're grown folk. My youngest is going to be 30, who remains.
You said you're not going to age them?
Yes. But she's staying at 25. So let's just, let's just stay there.
Good.
But it's just been trusting God.
Yeah.
And the hardest part as people are walking through their struggles today is trusting God, hearing His voice, and believing what He says. Yeah.
If somebody asked you, how do you hear God's voice? If they wanted to learn to trust God or wanted to learn to hear His voice more, what would you say?
So I've done this in a simple way, because when my husband traveled a lot in our early years, I would sit on my bed and say, God, we need to talk.
Oh, I like that.
And so that's my go-to. Whenever I have to have a moment, I sit on the edge of my bed and I say, God, we need to talk. And talking and listening, because some people hear Him audibly. I hear Him from within.
Yeah.
And then that's how I know it's Him over the enemy, because His voice is softer. His voice has always been softer to me.
True,
and then even though He's asking this immense thing of me, but it's that peace that it's Him.
Wow.
And so I would say, listen to that still small voice. But some people hear Him audibly. My husband hears Him audibly. I have to be still. God forces me to be still to hear Him.
Yeah.
And I've been in chaotic situations, and my friends are like, "Why are you quiet?" And then somebody will say, "She's hearing God."
So good.
Yeah, she's in her discipline. And the thing is, each one of us have to find our own discipline about hearing God.
Yeah.
I've had friends that they hear him in the noise. They hear him above the noise.
Yeah.
And I go, "Oh, I just hear noise. I have to get still." And I always say the enemy hates when I'm still. He will keep me busy, distracted, because the minute I get still, I can hear God's voice. And that's his discipline with me.
So good. I love it. Yeah. I tell people, I've never heard the booming voice of the Lord. There's been one or two times I thought it might have been audible, but it was quiet. But in general, for me, I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. I feel it very tremendously and strongly in a different way. And, it's like, I can't explain how I know when God's talking
Exactly.
to me. Exactly. I love that you're like, you got to explore that. You got to know what's your discipline. I like how you say
Yeah. For my husband, he can hear God while he was sitting in conversation. So we got married early at 20 and 21, both from large families, right? And I would cook dinner. I was a bad cook at that time. And we'd cook dinner and we'd sit down and his body was there, but he had left the building.
Okay.
And I would be so angry at God. I was just like, I'm used to talking to people. And we'd have our church service and he would share what the angel said to him while we were sitting at the dinner table.
Wow.
Everybody is so excited. I am angry at the Lord my God because that Jacob was in his presence and didn't know it. But that jealousy forced me to want God for myself, to have that experience. And so I hope that as they're hearing us, they'll say, this is for me too. I can hear the voice of God.
I think so often people, hear about God talking to somebody else or somebody had a vision or somebody saw Jesus walk through their door.
Yes.
And they think, well, I haven't had that experience, so I haven't experienced the Lord. And when I know you have friends in Israel, but when I went there, the first time I went there, I remember hearing that God speaks to us through his creation and realizing that he is not talking to me the way he's talking to you.
No.
Or your husband or any of that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we got to take a break really quick.
Oh, well.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. You have all the power within you to say no to fear. The world can't wait. We don't have time. We don't have time. We don't have time. You are not going to leave here in fear. Fear gets to go in Jesus' name. We're back and we're talking with Marina, and we left off. We're talking about how God just talks to everybody different.
Yes.
And when I heard the words, he speaks to us through his creation. And we're his creation.
Yeah.
I think so oftentimes people don't realize that God will use somebody else to speak to us.
Yes.
He'll use somebody else to do confirmation or something like that. And I think a lot of times people miss it.
Yeah.
They're waiting to hear from the Lord and they don't understand the person standing right here is the person that the Lord has sent to speak to you.
So I'm a worshiper. And I write our songs. Sometimes I write it right there in the presence. And so when I talk about hearing God, so what I've learned to do is create an atmosphere. And when I write the songs, I say to them right from the get-go before I start, my altar call is to the worshipers. Because the worshipers know how to worship. You don't have to tell a worshiper to lift their hands. And so when the worshipers worship, we create an atmosphere for everyone else to enter in.
That's good.
We're not calling you to lift your hands, because I have this phrase, Summer, that how do you make a person hungry? You eat in front of them.
That's good.
Because you're never hungry until somebody else is eating.
Or until you go to the grocery store. Somehow that happens too.
And so that hunger of watching somebody enjoy makes you want to enjoy too.
That's good.
And so when you create an atmosphere of worship, you make people want to worship. Because it's not, she's just up there by herself. No, it's that thing that David said, that everything that hath breath. And my interpretation of that is you have to respond. There's something about being in the presence of God. Even if you're unsaved, you're responding in your own way. You're crying. We've been in meetings. Why am I crying? I'm not a crier. The presence of God. It's how you respond in that presence. And it's not generic, it's personal.
Yeah. There's few things that I love more than to see someone experience the presence of God in a way they haven't before. And whatever that looks like, whether it's the crying or it's the, falling down, whatever it is, when you get to see someone experience the presence of God, and sometimes even for the first time, never experienced it. I feel like there's nothing greater than that.
Transformation takes place before your eyes.
Yeah, there's a look on their face too. It's just the peace of God, the joy of the Lord. People can't make that up. I taught theater for 25 years. I put over 20,000 people
I'm
on
learning
stages.
so much about you.
So I tell people, I was like, I could tell if a person's faking something. I taught
body language,
all of it.
Yes.
You can't fake some of the things that I've seen where people experience the Lord in just a profound and beautiful way.
Yeah, and then you get the miraculous, when the miraculous takes place, we've had meetings like that. A lady that had breast cancer, I knew that she was believing God for a new breast.
Oh, wow.
And the atmosphere, she got it during worship. And so when it was time for testimony, she came up and gave her a testimony that she said, I've been believing God, because I had a mastectomy years ago when I was younger, and I've always believed God. She had a full-grown breast, and you can't make that up.
Come on.
You can't make that up.
You know that we have a Bible journal called The Year of Miracles?
No.
That's 52 stories of miracle signs and wonders, and that's our other TV show.
Yeah.
I have 52 people I'm interviewing that have stories like that.
Yeah.
Stories where people were healed of AIDS, just like all kinds of stuff.
I love what you are doing, by the way.
Thank you.
We just spent a little time talking, and I'm just like, I love this lady. But we talk the same language, because you cannot see people excel without seeing them transformed. And when I say that is, no matter how crushed a person is, just get them in front of or have an encounter with God.
Yeah.
No matter how much you pour into and tell them they can do this, they can be this, one encounter with God shatters all the mindset and all the struggles. You and I have come through things, doing it in fear, but knowing that God is going to back us up all the way.
Yeah. So we traveled in an RV for 3 years. We went to 31 states. And so I went to all kinds of different churches. And I loved it. I love being able to go to different churches, small churches, big churches, new pastors have been around forever. And I saw so many amazing things. And then I also saw so many disheartening things. I saw pastors that too big for their britches, that love the fame. I saw mega churches where this is clearly business, not Jesus. And I saw so many churches where I realized that a lot of people in this country are just checking a box. Church is a box, like Monday Night Football. And it's just what you do. The kids go to school and then they go to church. And so it's very disheartening to see that so many people don't actually experience God at church. We do our Fear and Faith live events, and it's 3 days of Holy Spirit. We're waiting for someone to levitate. It's absolutely crazy what Jesus is doing. I mean, we had oil pouring off of stands at the event.
Oh, yeah. We understand that.
That's us, but I have person after person saying, I've never seen anything like this. I've never experienced it. I've never heard anyone pray like that in church. And I'm just like, well, why? Why? And that's why it's the global Bible revival, because when his word is revived, miraculous is going to be commonplace.
Absolutely. So again, I tell you that I'm a worshiper. So one of the things when I teach on worship is that there's 3 things. You have to have the word. The word is your foundation. You pray the word. And if you pray the word, then you can worship with the word. Because out of the word comes your love for the Father. You're not just quoting King James, you're adding, because everybody can say, the Lord is my shepherd. But let me tell you why he's my shepherd. Let me tell you when he's been my shepherd. Let me tell you when he led me through. Let me tell you what I want.
You can check out the rest of this interview right here or by going to BibleRevival.tv. And if this show has blessed you, you can help us bless others by partnering with us for as little as $20 a month and help us to expand the reach of this show. We'd also like to invite you to join our Kingdom Discipleship Program, where you have an opportunity to get on weekly Bible Zoom calls with us and people around the world to deep dive into His Word. And you can check all that out at BibleRevival.tv. I'll see you next time, my friend.